Pretty good, huh? Well, look, hello, everybody. It's great to be here with so many members of our National Infrastructure Advisory Council. Excuse me. But 2 years ago, I signed a law, once in a generation investment in our nation's infrastructure. And to fix our roads, railroads, bridges, ports, airports, remove every single lead pipe in the country, and extend high-speed internet, advanced clean energy, and modernize the electric grid, energy grid. Already, we've announced over 40,000 projects in 4,500 communities all across our country. And when folks see these big projects in their hometowns, when they see the cranes up in the air and the shovels in the ground, I really think, coming from an area that got shut down up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and then steel mill in Claymont, Delaware, I think it brings them hope. Brings them hope and pride. Brings pride back to communities that are left behind for much too long. And it brings a sense of security as well. That's why we're here today, to discuss how we can ensure that we invest in infrastructure that is secure, reliable, resilient for generations to come, no matter what. Because it's not just about building infrastructure, it's about building better infrastructure, stronger infrastructure. Infrastructure that can withstand 21st century challenges, from climate change to cyber attacks to natural disasters to foreign threats and so much more. So what does all this mean? It means that when a hurricane hits, power is back on within hours instead of days or weeks. It means when a storm water surge, people don't lose access to clean water. It means when any disaster strikes, families can still text, call, and email to get help for loved ones to see if they're okay. And look, it also means that when cyber actors try to hack pipelines, ports, grids, networks, they're detected and removed before they disrupt essential services. A lot of work. And that's why last year I asked this council to ensure that resilience is built into all of our infrastructure projects, including critical sections like energy, communications, transportation, and healthcare. Together, you delivered, especially on the key challenges. One, strengthening our water infrastructure. Two, boosting our resilience and expand our use of electricity as we expand our use of electricity across the economy. Today, I'm looking forward to hearing about new projects this council will pursue in the coming years as well. So thank you all for being here. I'm just going to ask the press to step out so we can begin our briefing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
At Taco John's, you can expect one thing: so good. As in quality ingredients used in tacos and burritos made just for you. Every single bite.
So good.
Expect nothing less at Taco John's.
County. They have been the hotbed of criminal activity in that business for over 15 years. So the PR House, which is located at Lake Underhill and Goldenrod, has been the scene of drug sales, shootings, overdose deaths, and even a homicide. So this year, the Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and the DEA initiated an investigation with the specific goal of shutting the PR House down. So the operators at the PR House were selling cocaine to between 60 and 80 people a day. We seized 9 kilos of cocaine, 13 firearms, 2 of which had the serial numbers removed. And so 18 people were arrested and facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, and armed trafficking of cocaine, which is a life felony. So in a moment, you'll hear from MBI Director Ron Stucker, who will talk about the investigation. And so I want to talk to you about why, in addition to the great police work on this case, that our nuisance abatement ordinance here in Orange County is important and a critical tool in addressing these types of criminal enterprises that are operating out of businesses. So if a criminal organization is operating in a fixed location, such as a business, if those folks in that business are facing charges, well, they'll just transfer control over to someone who's not facing charges and continue to commit their illegal crimes and activity. So the nuisance abatement ordinance places civil responsibility on the landowner, whose responsibility it is to keep that property crime-free. And so you've heard me talk about this issue we have with many of our illicit after-hours clubs and hookah lounges that operate without liquor licenses or in violation of their liquor license. And so these illicit operations, after-hours clubs, like the PR House, attract a lot of criminal activity, to include drug sales, of course, and even more violent crimes, shootings, and homicides, many of which you have reported on. So to help address that, one of my legislative priorities for 2024 is amending state law to make it a felony to serve alcohol illegally or without a license, and also increase the fines for that. The importance of that would be to also add unlawful alcohol sales to the list that would trigger the nuisance abatement program. So in an effort to help us shut down these places if they continue their criminal activity. So this time I'll turn it over to Director Ron Stucker from the Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation.
Thank you, Sheriff. As the sheriff said, we're excited about this case. The location was a bar named PR House. Previously, it went by the name To Casa Baricua, and it's at the corner of Lake Underhill and Goldenrod, 7343 Lake Underhill Road. It has been operating as an illegal enterprise, we believe, for probably up to 2 decades. We have crime line tips as far back as 2007. In which citizens, people were calling in tips on the owner of the bar itself, associates of the bar, talking about drug dealing, talking about firearms violations, talking about gambling. And we've probably received, or the sheriff's office has received, over 20 tips over the years from various people talking about this criminal enterprise and what they're doing there. The owner of the bar is a woman named Rosa Lopez. She was actually arrested back in 2001 for racketeering and operating a gambling establishment. And just to give you an example of some of the crimes that have occurred in and around that property, in 2016, there was a homicide in the parking lot. In January of 2017, there were shots fired inside the business. August of 2017, a person died of a drug overdose inside the business, which was later determined to be a combination of drugs, including cocaine and fentanyl. In November of 2017, there was another person who overdosed inside the business. And in 2022, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit investigated an overdose death involving cocaine and fentanyl, in which it's alleged, and we believe, that the drugs were supplied by the operators of the PR House. Over the years, the Orange County Sheriff's Office has really done a tremendous job. They've been very persistent. They've been very tenacious. They've been going in and making arrests. They've served search warrants over the years, but the bar continued to exist. And this is just in a strip plaza, and there's legitimate businesses all around it. Other food establishments. I think there's a boxing club. There's a 24-hour vet clinic next door. So there's legitimate businesses there, but these people continue to sell drugs. To give you an idea of the volume that they were selling, between June of 2021 and March of 2022, the sheriff's office stopped 79 people coming out of PR House. Every one of them had cocaine on them. Some the lab showed was a mixture of cocaine and fentanyl. And those drugs they seized all had similar markings and similar packaging. Following up on that, the sheriff's office did some undercover operations to buy drugs out of there, which had the same similar markings and packaging, which still confirmed to us that that was the source location for the drugs that were coming into that area. Despite the sheriff's office work, they continue to persist. For example, in June of this last year, in June of 2023, the sheriff's office served a search warrant at PR House. They seized cocaine, they seized cannabis, they seized firearms. By noon the next day, PR House had resupplied their set of drugs. They had set up business and they were selling again. So as the sheriff said, our goal was to make this place go away, that this place should no longer continue just to open really as an open air drug market in this plaza, in this neighborhood. And so MBI, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and DEA joined forces to initiate an investigation. And what our goal is to get the owners and the operators of this place so that we could actually shut down the business. And instead of picking off 1 or 2 people here or there, seizing small amounts of drugs, was to actually close this business down and no longer allow it to operate. We did some financial analysis on the business and also working with a state alcohol, beverage, and tobacco. They did not sell enough beer and food out of that place to probably keep the lights on. Their sole revenue source was, or primary revenue source was the sale of illicit drugs coming out of there. And it was simply a front to sell illegal drugs. Our investigation showed, as the sheriff said, probably 60 to 80 people every day would enter PR House. They would be in there 2-3 minutes, not purchase anything legitimate, such as beer or a sandwich or anything else, and would leave. And so 60 to 80 people a day were going in there to buy cocaine. There were some days that we observed over 100 people would enter, spend a small amount of time, and come out. So you can start doing the math on that about the amount of cocaine that they were selling out of this business. We were also able to establish through our investigation that the traffickers, the drug traffickers inside the business were all armed. They were dangerous. During October of this year, during our investigation, we learned that some of the traffickers from PR House were getting ready to commit a home invasion. And the sheriff's office, working with NBI, were able to immediately take some action to avert that crime and to make sure that it did not occur. As the sheriff mentioned, we have charged 18 different defendants. We provided you a poster here, and I think we also handed out some face sheets which outline the various defendants and who they are and what their charges are. The charges range from racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, armed trafficking of cocaine, conspiracy to traffic cocaine, conspiracy to traffic amphetamines, and possession of a place used to manufacture a controlled substance with a minor presence. In addition to the firearms in the place, there are often juveniles that were present with the cocaine traffickers while they were trafficking this amount of cocaine. The armed trafficking of cocaine over 28 grams is a life felony, and the racketeering charges and the possession of a place to manufacture a drug with juveniles present is a first-degree felony. And the evidence in the case is going to demonstrate that Rosa Lopez, the owner of PR House, was not only aware of the activity, but she was helping to direct the activity that occurred in there. As the sheriff mentioned, we've seized over 9 kilos of cocaine, 13 firearms. 2 of those firearms had their serial numbers removed. So this is a joint investigation with the Sheriff's Office, NBI, and DEA. It's being prosecuted by the Attorney General's Office of Statewide Prosecution. And as the sheriff said, the nuisance abatement is very important during this process. Often, these fixed-based operations will simply move to a new location. They'll simply hand off ownership of the business or the LLC to somebody else, and they'll continue to operate. Our goal this time, working with nuisance abatement, working with alcohol, beverage, and tobacco, working with the Department of Revenue, in addition to the criminal charges, is to make sure that they completely go away. And the landlord has worked cooperatively with us after the arrest. They have evicted PR House from the premises, and so they no longer operate in this plaza where they've been operating for the last 15 to 20 years. And so we're very pleased about that and hope now that a legitimate business will go in there and do a legitimate business along with the other people that are in that plaza and in that neighborhood.
It's time to put yourself first and get the figure you've always wanted with laser liposuction and body sculpting from CMA, Comprehensive Medical Aesthetics. Dr. Rudolph Moise and his experienced staff can transform you in one simple in-office procedure. Localized anesthesia, minimal discomfort, faster recovery. Call CMA today and schedule your free consultation. 786-746-6464. Visit cmaesthetic.com. Begin your transformation. Call CMA today.
Of everything we do includes ensuring that we deliver care close to home. This facility will serve as a beacon of hope and healing, embodying AdventHealth's over $270 million investment in the community's health infrastructure. I can't tell you how proud I am of our team for how we serve this community. And now, to tell us more about this facility, please welcome Vice President of Emerging Operations, Kay Barnett.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here, yes, on this cold and blustery morning. I think it'll be good when we can put the hard hats on and cover up the hair. Thank you so much for celebrating this occasion. AdventHealth Mineola Hospital will bring a host of new and much needed services to this community. This comprehensive hospital, open to everyone, will provide a convenient access point for residents of this community to receive care close to home. According to Florida's Agency for Healthcare Administration, nearly half of the community members who live in South Lake County actually leave this area for inpatient services. Additionally, we know that more and more people are moving to this vibrant community with over 13% projected population growth over the next 5 years. Our AdventHealth Mineola Hospital will deliver on our brand promise of bringing hope and healing, supporting not only the body, but also the mind and the spirit. The Mineola campus joins AdventHealth's network of growing outpatient and inpatient services across South Lake and West Orange counties. This 4-story, 204,000 square foot building will sit adjacent to incoming development in this area, with close proximity and in walking distance to housing, to shopping, dining, and recreation. We're so grateful for our partners in this community, as well as our partners on this project. So big thanks to our architects at ESA, our general contractor, Brassfield and Gorey, and Scorman Development. We're excited to be a part of this vibrant community. And now please join me in welcoming to the stage our director, our medical director of emergency services, Dr. Nicholas McAllister.
Hello, thank you, Kay. We're super excited to start the construction of this new hospital. Team Health is a proud and long-standing partner of AdventHealth. Our goal is to bring exceptional care to AdventHealth of Mineola Hospital, and it's a great honor for us. Our goal is to provide the community with first-of-its-kind, world-class care from the #1 care team in Central Florida. We know that the presence of having your loved ones with you is important whenever you're going through the healing process. And the hospital will have roughly 80 beds, with an emergency department and other inpatient services. This will include primary care, cardiology, endoscopy, radiology, surgery, and much more. Our comprehensive clinical team is ready to provide whole person care to our community. This will be a new hospital, and we look forward to serving a whole range of healthcare needs in the years to come. Thank you, and thank you once again for being here to celebrate this with us. And now, welcome back, Carrie Vargas.
This is not a good hair day. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. McAllister. We really appreciate you and your leadership and what you represent. And we're so grateful for our community partners, and we're really grateful for our partners at the City of Mineola. And I'd like to bring up now the Mayor of Mineola, Pat Kelly.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a good hair day. On behalf of the City Council, I want to welcome Advent to the city and to our community. I think it's amazing. It's been exciting to participate in events like this that y'all put on. Y'all have been great partners. So looking exciting with what you're going to move forward with Mineola, with other events. And your community support is off the charts. I've seen it in other places, and I know our residents are excited to see that. Also, I'm excited that it's going to bring, let's just call it high-paying jobs, good jobs to Mineola. It's going to help, it's going to accelerate the growth of Mineola. Not that it needs it, but we're doing okay. But I think when you look back of why it's accelerated, it's because y'all are coming. It's people are here, they're moving here because y'all are coming here. So we really do appreciate that. Having quality access to health care, we've had the discussion in the past, and giving choices to the people in Southlake County is very important. It's even amazing what the building's going to look like. It's your thing. They gave me talking notes. I don't do talking notes that well, but I do have the idea of what we're talking about. We look forward for the growth that you're going to bring to us as we move forward. And I think one of those teleprompters here. Next time we'll have that. We'll just wrap it up. Congratulations on the groundbreaking, and bless y'all. It needs a blow.
Well, Mayor Kelly, we have really appreciated your partnership and our city council and our city manager's partnership as we really invest in this community. And now it's the fun part where we actually get to go over and break ground. So I would invite everyone to move over right where Jose Luis is standing so we can actually commemorate this occasion and break ground. Thank you.